What does wealth look like? What does a rich person look like? What does financial freedom really look like? These all seem like obvious questions with very clear answers, but as I was focusing on my eBay store and the progress I've made in the last 6 months the other night, I was questioning these all for myself. I asked, have I become richer since running my eBay shop? If you were to look at my bank balance, the obvious answer is yes, as I simply put have more than double what I had back then. But on a more deep basis, am I richer now than I was then? I think to a degree I am based on the skills that I've learned, but I have to ask myself, am I richer? Because it's not just about money in my opinion. I think what the real determining factor is how hard somebody's had to work to get that money. If I worked in a job where I get paid £10,000 a month, that's obviously a lot of money, and on the surface of it, it makes you seem very rich. However, if you have to work 15 hours a day for that money, are you now rich? I would say probably not, because even if you do make a lot, you don't have enough time for yourself, and you don't even have any opportunity to spend that money, which simply put means you are a slave to somebody else in a way, because you don't even have your time to yourself. So is that person then rich? And if you agree with me that that person is probably not that rich because of what they have to give away and sacrifice to get that money, the question is, what does richness look like? What does financial wealth look like? Again, that also seems like a really obvious question, but if you ask me, it comes back down to the point of, well, how hard do you have to work for this? And I think this is what most people do understand on a deep level, but fail to acknowledge, as most people work for money, doing a 9 to 5 job, leaving them without much free time, and no matter how much you get paid for that, I have to say there is a lot of value in your time, and you have to ask, is it really worth it? Following up on that point, I think this is where most people's relationship with work and money go wrong. From school, we are taught that we need to work very hard to get a lot of money, and I would agree that this is true. In my years of experimenting trying out businesses, this has been the case. But that is also the point. It depends on where that knowledge is applied. If you work in a 9 to 5, where you get a set salary or a set wage, that is the amount of money that you're taking home, unless you get some sort of commission. If you get £10 an hour, you're getting £10 an hour no matter how hard you work. And that's the problem. So when you're in a job, you basically are capped on your earnings, but your output is unlimited. You can work as hard as you possibly can, and you might get a promotion, but you get the point. In that position, your income is limited. So whilst I do personally believe that the way to true wealth is through hard work, it depends on where that knowledge, research, and work is applied. If it's applied in your own field, say running your own business, building up a brand for yourself and your future, learning about investments and how to make money going forwards, I think you'll have better results than if you were to work a 9 to 5 job. Then the question becomes, where does that cutoff point start? Like I said before, my eBay shop has been making me quite a lot of money in the past few weeks, but I've been asking myself, what do I do with that? How can I make this business even easier to run? Because if I'm honest, it has been quite stressful. Consider it, it's a retail business. It has returns, it has fees to manage, it has taxes to manage. There's a lot to do in this business. No matter how much revenue or profit I'm making, there is a point to how rich I can get with this business. Because if anything, the more money I make, the more time I expel. Because I have to put more and more time into running this business. And that, in my opinion, is why there is a cutoff point where things ultimately do need to become automated to gain true wealth. Let's say that I make between £3,000 and £5,000 worth of profit on a business, and I have to work every single hour for that. Can I pay somebody between £1,000 and £2,000 a month maybe to completely run that business for me? That still leaves me with a couple of £1,000 profit every single month, but I don't have to do anything. All my time is to myself. I can then take that time to build another business which can do the same thing and the same thing and the same thing. Before you know it, I'm making £10,000, £20,000 a month for doing nothing. Yes, the hard work has initially gone back in, way back when, but ultimately you don't work for that anymore. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. As a business owner, you are not necessarily a business owner as such, which sounds like a contradiction, but let me explain what I mean by that. If you do all the work for your business, are you a business owner or are you a simply self-employed person? And I have to say, I think the answer is you're self-employed. And when I signed up to start an eBay shop, I didn't really want to be a self-employed person. I wanted to be a business person. And that's something that I've learned in this experience. No matter what happens with my shop going forwards, I now understand this. I can put in hours and hours of my day, and I can make hundreds of pounds a day. But I am ultimately limited by my personal time. If I'm sacrificing time with friends and family to make money, Am I getting richer or am I getting poorer? Because I'd be losing so much in social capital, in my free will. It's like, how much am I really gaining and what am I losing? And that's why I think the best way to get rich is to build a business and automate it. And that's a model by itself that I'm trying to incorporate going forwards into as many different businesses and business plans as I personally can. So if you ask me, working less and less can free up your time to work on different projects. You can then go on to multiply these projects and build more and more. It makes sense, and it is something that's hard to comprehend coming from a 9 to 5 view, but I think when you start looking at your own businesses, it is something that's very easy. If you turn your side hustle into an automated business, you might be making £600, £1,000, £2,000 a month profit for doing nothing. Before long, you can move that side hustle to being completely automated, move on to the next side hustle, and before long, you might have two businesses making £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 a month in profit. And then it's like, do you now have enough money coming in to quit your job? That might be the case. I think this is the easiest way to manage it, because if you're working for yourself on your business, you're always going to run into that time issue. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it is, make sure to like and subscribe, as I do like to make content like this quite often. Please tell me what your thoughts are down in the comment section, and thank you so much for joining us in this one. See you soon.